Hello there. Today I shall be discussing some tips and advice for when you enter a game jam and or hackathon. Whether you're about to go on your first one or you'll soon be attending your 100th one, I hope some of these may help you out. Before we start, please consider subscribing and sharing the video to show your support. Now, enough waffling, let's begin. Depending on if you have a team ready or planning on working with strangers, it's best to have your software ready before the event. This includes your IDEs and your game engines, as well as your art software such as Blender and Photoshop. Another thing to keep note of is to make sure that everyone else in the team is using the exact same versions of the game engine you're using in order to prevent conflicts or potential errors. Always look out for LTS versions and make sure the team uses those when possible. I think getting a team with the best of the best may be a great plan to a successful project, but often, at least in my experience, it'll lead to a lot of clashing of egos and massive disagreements, and almost no progress as well. It may be better to balance out the team with those who are experienced and those who may be attending for their first time, or those who are a little bit novice. Knowledge and ideas will be a little more diverse and potentially will have better results. Also remember that if you are in charge of the team, it is best that you act like a leader and not a manager. These sort of events will always have a time limit. Some going on for about a month to some lasting less than 24 hours, believe it or not. For the ones that will of course be within a much shorter time period, it is actually quite hard to actually find time to sleep, as you may get stressed, try and get the project done in time. However, it is important to get some rest to make sure that you are at the best possible state to get the project done. For example, if you're attending an event with a 40-hour time limit, try and get between 4 to 6 hours of sleep each night, at least. You may think drinking coffee and energy drinks will keep you up and working at your best, but if anything, it'll definitely cause burnout by the time you finish the event. Make sure you always hydrate and keep on drinking water. I'm serious, water is probably the best thing you can probably drink. Depending on if you're doing the event on site or if you're doing it at home online, you'll still need a way to actually share and update content between everyone in the team. One of the most common methods is using a GitHub repository for your entire team to access and update and upload every single update that's been made for the project. Alternatively, members working on the programming game engine should stick to using one machine, and then the artists will each have their own separate machines and try and get their separate tasks done. But also remember, use emails, your Discord, USBs, whatever is efficient, as long as it's something that everyone has access to and that they are comfortable with. Continuing off the previous points, if you are making use of Unity, please use the Unity package system. It'll make sharing assets a lot easier, and assuming that you put everything into a prefab folder, it'll take all the shaders, the materials, the scripts, the models, whatever you put in that into the one folder, then you can share it across the team. They'll definitely have access to it. It'll immediately put everything, and there, look it up, and or who knows, if you guys want to, just let me know. I can try and make a video discussing how it works. Often there is a list of potential themes before these sort of events start. During this time, I suggest getting your team together and coming up with draft ideas and quick concept to see what can be made. So when the final theme has been revealed, you will then give yourself maybe a good 2 hours to probably plan and work out on your project. With that previous drafted list, you'll also probably have some other smaller ideas and concepts that you could actually implement into the main game too. One important thing that these events are an opportunity to network with like-minded people within the industry. Don't be afraid to ask people from other teams how things are going, or even asking them for help. Good way to network and get to know them, might make some new friends, and who knows? One trick I always make use of when working on a project is look at each possible function and then break it down. Research possible solutions and then try and figure out how to solve the smaller problems. And that way you can get the better end result. This is one that often does not happen because either the fear of competition or burnout or just not motivated to do anything other than sleep, which I can understand. But always remember to ask where you can play other people's games and always try and give feedback. Hopefully they will then give you feedback on your game as well. This goes back to the whole opportunity of networking and making friends ideals from the previous point. This one may seem obvious, but this is something that most people don't actually consider. Unless the person you're invited is very interested in the field or potentially looking for experience, rather avoid inviting extra people to join in order to conflict any issues, or I don't know, they might get bored. This one may also seem obvious, but people do tend to forget this one too. There's a good chance that you'll have a lot of leftover food during the event, and unless you're at home, you may want to try and find time to actually put it in the fridge or in order to prevent it from going bad. Trust me. This one is very important for on-site events because this helps get the team to be a lot closer and communicate everything a lot quicker. Even opens up the opportunity for members to walk around to actually check the progress and see how things are going. Best to have all the artists sitting next to each other and all the programmers sitting next to each other. This will allow for faster communication and also a lot easier feedback amongst each other. This can actually help the team be a little bit more active, but remember to always ask for permission before doing this, and I'd recommend asking for requests. It may work even better when making use of a Discord music box. Just get everyone typing in their own song, just mixing up their own playlist. And it's not weird, nice genre mix. This is a continuation from an earlier point, but as much as sleep is amazing and probably the greatest thing ever, you do not want to be overtired and potentially miss out on your own tasks. Yeah, that's it for this point. At a lot of these events, they require you to upload to a submission page, sometimes on an itch.io or even just a regular GitHub repository. Make sure all of your team's info is there, project details, and just keep on updating as the project goes. You must come up with different names. You must make sure you got all the credits going on for each of the team members, what they did, whatever links as well, just for networking as well. But always keep on updating your submission page. Best to always check with everyone in the team and make sure they have their say before clicking the submit button. Trust me, you might want to do that because you'll be tired at the point you might have a couple spelling errors, you might have some other weird issue. The game might not even be running properly. Yeah, so just get everyone to check before you submit. This is more of a situational sort of tip, but certain events actually do require to use certain SDKs or IDEs or game engines. So I mean, if they don't actually force you into that requirement, best to stick with what you're good at in order to make the best possible project you can. This one may seem simple, but can be quite hard depending on how intense the situation is. There'll be multiple factors to keep in mind, but always check up on your team. Always make sure everyone's okay, they're happy, they got enough rest, they ate enough food, they're hydrated. So, I mean, be a pal and just make sure everyone's okay. Oftentimes, your project may be a bit too ambitious. With this in mind, it would be best to focus on what your team have managed to produce and work around that. Remember to be proud of what you guys have created and congratulate your team for making it this far. Regardless of whether it is good or bad, it is ultimately a lesson and experience you'll look back on and hopefully will be a reminder in the future of how far you've come. So I mean, remember, it's experience, it's a good fun time. Remember that, don't lose sight of it. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for joining me, and I hope I've managed to help you in some way. If you have any tips or tricks yourself, please share them in the comments and we can continue the conversation over there. And yeah, please consider leaving a like if you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe for future content. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.